Okay. Speaking of electrolytes and minerals, let me get my book. Were you aware that zinc is the #1 element that makes up the macula of the eye? Anyone heard that? Zinc is the #1 element that makes up the macula of the eye. So let's just use common sense here. If somebody has macular degeneration, what element are they missing?
Zinc.
They're missing zinc. You can deplete this mineral from the body by smoking marijuana, secret vice, and extramarital activity.
Wait, secret vice?
Yes, which is masturbation. I don't like to use that word. Those who are deficient in this mineral have the possibility of going blind. Also, were you aware that marijuana belongs to the solanase family because it has solanine in it, which is a poison? By the way, you guys heard of hemp seeds, hemp milk? That's marijuana. Leave that stuff alone. There's a whole thing going on right now. Eat hemp seeds. Drink hemp milk. Hemp is marijuana.
Yes.
And it depletes the body of zinc. Just because it is an herb does not mean it is edible to man. Remember these two things. Number one, who did God originally make the herb of the field for? The bees. So just because they eat it doesn't mean okay for you to eat it. Okay, number two, not every plant was planted by God. Did you guys know that? Many things in existence today are the result of amalgamation. If you guys are wondering why I'm reading when I'm at home, I'll pretend I'm talking to you guys, and I'll type it as I'm talking. So I'll have my notes for myself. I do my practice. So not every plant was planted by God. Many things in existence today are the result of amalgamation, and they are harmful to human consumption. Example, would you smoke or eat poison ivy?
No.
But it's an herb. It's a plant. What about, I have people tell me this about marijuana all the time. I said, well, then go smoke poison ivy and poison oak. They say it's a poison. Same thing with marijuana. Marijuana is very, very detrimental to the nervous system and especially the brain. And people who smoke, I know people who smoke it a lot, they have the worst memories. Yes. It depletes the minerals that are very essential for the nervous system. So if you have people telling you that, tell them to smoke poison ivy and poison oak and see what they say. The Bible tells us that Satan has planted certain plants as well, and you can find that in Matthew 13, 27 through 28. Just because it's a plant does not mean it is to be eaten. Are we in agreement? Amen. Now getting back to the secret vice part. When one practices self-abuse, the reason why this is considered so bad is not only because it's a type of sexual perversion, and God only intended for sexual pleasure between a husband and his wife, but because masturbation depletes a high amount of zinc from the body. And this is why the prophet of the Lord says it causes blindness, back pain, etc. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they were laughing. Medical research is now showing that this depletes the body of zinc, which is crucial. Also, for those who are married, were you aware, wait a minute, hold that thought. In how many things does the Bible say we should be temperate? Let's go read it. 1 Corinthians 9:25. Just so we can say we read it. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. Who wants to read that verse? We'll just read the first, up to the first sentence where the period is.
And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Oh, it says all things?
All things.
Okay, let me read something. In temperance, page 138, paragraph 2. First of all, let's find out what temperance is. This is temperance, page 138, paragraph 2. And this will be emailed to you. The reason why I didn't do printouts for everyone is to save money and ink. So I'm just going to email you every time we have a class. You'll get this email. And this way, you won't be reading this. You'll write down your notes.
Right.
Okay. 138, paragraph 2, this is temperance. tells us, let me see. The principles of temperance must be carried further than the mere use of spirituous liquors. Because that's what their temperance movement consisted a lot of back in her day. The use of stimulating and indigestible food is often equally injurious to health. She said indigestible food. Would that include gluten, maybe? Is it indigestible? Yes. She says the use of stimulating and indigestible food is often equally injurious to health, and in many cases sows the seeds of drunkenness. True temperance, this is a definition, write this down, guys. True temperance teaches us to dispense entirely with everything hurtful and to use judiciously that which is healthful. So, is it okay to eat 10 oranges at one sitting?
No.
No, even though it's good for you, we have to use judiciously that which is helpful. She says there are few who realize, as they should, how much their habits of diet have to do with their health, their character, their usefulness in their world, and their eternal destiny. Be careful of those people who say this message is not of importance. Because that right there is important. But if we don't have the temperance part down, our brains cannot comprehend that the way we're supposed to. And it will not be received into the heart. Is that understandable? Okay, so we're told all things. So would this include physical relations between a man and his wife?
Yes.
It sure would. Did you know that when a man and his wife, excuse the expression, reach the stimulation point during intimacy, their bodies release an excess amount of zinc as well? And yes, you lose a lot of zinc. And in order for the zinc to get back to the proper range, it needs to, entire abstinence for several days is necessary. And medical science is now saying approximately 6 and 7 days. Did you know that's in the Old Testament of the Bible?
6 or 7 days?
Yes, a week. I did not know that. I didn't bring the verse today. If somebody could tell me where, I think it's in Deuteronomy or Leviticus. Listen to what she says.
Yeah.
The prophet of the Lord talks about not being intemperate even in the bedroom. There's a book that was compiled with the writings of Sister White regarding this subject. Does anyone know what that book is called? Testimony on Sexual Behavior, Adultery, and Divorce. Let's see what she says. Sexual excess will effectually destroy a love for devotional exercises, will take from the brain the substance needed to nourish the system, and will most effectually exhaust the vitality. Now what substance, what mineral did we learn really gets zapped from the brain? Zinc. Zinc is very crucial. In Adventist Home, page 121, paragraph 5, she says, the marriage relation is holy, but in this degenerate age, it covers vileness of every description. It is abused and has become a crime which now constitutes one of the signs of the last days. Even as marriages, managed as they were previous to the flood, were then a crime. This is serious. I mean, it really is, it depletes your body. And we have to have temperance in how many things? In all things. Now, I'm not going to get in your business and tell you what to do. It's between a husband, wife, and the Lord. I'm just sharing with you what medical science is teaching and what the Bible teaches. But we have to be temperate.
I just want something in the Bible. It says that don't come with your wife against the territory.
What'd you say?
One.
That's when they were going before the Lord.
Yeah.
We're talking about, I'll bring the verses next week. Okay. So here's the thing. We were talking about secret vice and marijuana and certain things. God says don't do it, and therefore we shouldn't, just on that note. But in His infinite mercy, He wants to reason with us by showing us cause to what?
Okay.
Let's find that. Let's go to Isaiah 41, and I'll read 21 and 22. We serve a merciful, loving God.
Amen.
And did you grow up with parents who said, do it because I said so?
Yeah.
But they never gave you a rationale? God gives us a rationale.
That's right.
He's a very loving God. Isaiah 41, and I'm going to read 21 through 22. It says, produce your cause, saith the Lord. Lord, I want to smoke that cigarette. Okay? Produce your cause. Bring forth your strong reason, saith the King of Jacob. Let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come. So God tells us, just the fact that he said don't do it, we shouldn't do it. But we're stubborn like the children of Israel. So into 2010, we have so many rationales they didn't have back then. But we have zinc depletes the brain, and you know what I'm saying? We're really learning because God does not want us to be without excuse. He's giving us every simple rationale so that we can be in the kingdom. Amen. Now, so we're talking about zinc being depleted from the brain. Can you guys, which plant foods are the highest in zinc? By the way, this is Encyclopedia of Foods and Their Healing Power. This is by an Adventist doctor. This is an Adventist book. Very good information. And for each mineral, if you need to know what food I'm low in phosphorus, I'm low in calcium, I'm low in iron. You go here and it tells you what foods to eat. The green area is the plant foods and the pink area is the animal foods. We ignore that, right? Okay, so these are the foods that are high in zinc. Wheat germ, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, and pumpkin seeds are the highest source, and sesame seeds. Sesame seed is also high in magnesium. It's high in calcium. So when you take your sesame seeds, what did we learn today? In the fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains. The seeds are included in the fruit, right? Okay. They're so healthy for you. Instead of running to your pills or, go get your seeds and your nuts. They contain so many minerals. So we have wheat germ, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, cashews. It says soybeans, but in 2010 I'd be very careful because 95% of the soybean crop in America is genetically modified.
95?
95%.
You have a reference?
I can get it for you, but yes, just type it in, 95% soybean genetically modified. It'll come, you'll get thousands of pages. Now here's the way you tell the difference. Not everybody who says organic or non-GMO is non-GMO. If it's round, it's genetically modified. If it's oblong, oval, or shaped like a kidney bean, comes in different shapes, then it's non-genetically modified. If you buy soy milk and your carton doesn't say non-GMO, leave the silk alone. It's genetically modified. Leave your earth balance alone. It used to be non-GMO. I heard some of them, like the light or something is non-GMO, but start reading your labels because the genetically modified soybean is very deadly and detrimental to your health. And they know this. So I'd be very careful. What'd you say?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking about that.
Brazil nuts, pine nuts, oats, mung bean, popcorn, whole grain rice, blackstrap molasses, alfalfa sprout, spinach, asparagus, potato. But the highest is the wheat germ, sesame, sunflower seed, pumpkin seeds. Those are very high. Very easy to replace your zinc.